downtown, paint peeling off them old brick signs. Folks work hard, keep their heads down, trying to hold on to better times. Used to leave your door unlocked at night. Now everybody's got a camera on. Still got faith if we get it right, we can fix what's gone wrong. Ain't about talk, ain't about show. It's about the way we live, the way we know. Let's get back to dirt roads, back to porch lights. Neighbors standing up when it ain't polite. Cold beer, hot true styles up above. A little less noise and a whole lot of love. Red, white, blue ain't a trend we chase. It's sweat on your shirt and calloused hands grace. If we're gonna stand, we don't stand apart. We gotta get back to heart. By the water line, kids still laughing like nothing's changed. But there's a whole lot of talk on the screen these days, and not enough folks saying it face to face. We ain't perfect, never claimed to be, but we know what matters when the dust all clears. It's family, friends, and a little dignity, and standing strong through the years. Ain't about left, ain't about right. It's about showing up when it's time to fight. Let's get back to dirt roads, back to porch lights. Neighbors standing up when it ain't polite. Cold beer, heart true stars up above. A little less noise and a whole lot of love. Red, white, blue ain't a trend we chase. Sweat on your shirt and calloused hands grace. If we're gonna stand, we don't stand apart. We gotta get back to heart. Ain't no filter, ain't no spin. Just who we are and where we've been. If you fall down, we pull you up. That's the kind of country built on us. Let's get back to dirt roads, back porch lights. Neighbors standing up, yeah, ready to fight. Cold beer, heart true stars up above. A little less talk and a whole lot of love. Red, white, blue ain't a flag you fold. It's a way of life and a code we hold. If we're gonna stand, we don't stand apart. We gotta get back, yeah, back to heart. Yeah, back to us. Woo. Back to us.
Welcome in, everybody, to Apex News Above the Noise. I am Kyle Thompson.
And I'm Craig Blanton.
We say it every week that we get started here, Craig, but it has been a wild weekend with lots of news. We have breaking news as we come on the air tonight.
Right, yeah.
We'll get into all that as well.
Not the news we want. No UK news.
Yeah, this is no UK news yet, but if we get some, we will hop over and cover
Paris,
that.
Yeah, Paris is burning.
Yeah.
Newark, New Jersey is going crazy. Los Angeles is going crazy. I don't know what's in the water.
It must be a full moon coming up or something. Actually, I think we just had one last night, so that could answer a lot of it. So we start tonight with breaking news that is still developing as we come on the air tonight. Iran has officially suspended all indirect negotiations with the United States. This is among the most widely reported stories in the world tonight. It's covered by Reuters, CNN, CNBC, CBS News, Euronews, and the Times of Israel, among others. And here's the full context. Back on February 28th, the United States and Israel launched massive coordinated strikes against Iran, what Trump called the start of major combat operations that triggered months of fighting, ceasefire talks, and on and off again exchanges. A Pakistan-brokered ceasefire went into effect on April 8th. It has never fully held for longer than a couple of days. And over the weekend, U.S. CENTCOM said it struck Iranian radar and command and control sites for drones on Keshem Island and in Garok, two locations along the Strait of Hormuz. Iran state media said the IRGC responded by attacking a U.S. military base, though it did not specify which one. Despite those exchanges, President Trump posted on Truth Social this morning, telling critics to, quote, sit back and relax. It will all work out well in the end, and claiming Iran really wants to make a deal. Then this afternoon, Iran pulled the plug on talks entirely. Iran's Tasnim news agency, which is directly affiliated with the Revolutionary Guard Corps, reported that Tehran's negotiating team is, in their words, suspending talks and exchanges of texts through mediators, specifically citing Israel's attacks in Lebanon as the trigger. We'll talk about those here in a second. They stated, quote, given the continuation of the Israeli regime's attacks in Lebanon, and considering that Lebanon had been one of the preconditions for a ceasefire, which has now been violated on all fronts, including Lebanon, the Iranian negotiating team is suspending talks and exchanges of texts through mediators. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Arghachi backed that up on social media. I'm gonna do it all night, Craig.
There's all kinds of them, yeah.
The ceasefire between Iran and the U.S. is unequivocally a ceasefire on all fronts, including Lebanon, which is interesting because the U.S. is not in Lebanon. Its violation on one front is a violation of the ceasefire on all fronts. The United States and Israel bear responsibility for the consequences of any breach of the truce. Iran's top negotiator and parliament speaker, Mohammed Baghar Ghalibaf, went further on X, saying the U.S. naval blockade of Iranian ports since April 13th was, quote, a clear evidence of U.S. noncompliance with the ceasefire, and posted ominously, every choice has a price and the bill comes due. But here is the escalation that rattled global markets tonight. Tasnim also reported that Iran and what it calls the axis of resistance, including Houthi rebels in Yemen, Hezbollah in Lebanon, and allied militias in Iraq, ironically enough, all terrorist organizations,
right,
placed on their agenda, and I'm quoting directly here, the complete closure of the Strait of Hormuz and activation of other fronts, including the Bab al-Mandeb Strait, as part of efforts to punish Israel and its supporters. The Bab al-Mandeb Strait is the narrow choke point, just 18 miles wide at the narrowest, at the southern end of the Red Sea. It's the gateway to the Suez Canal, connecting Asia and Europe through one of the world's busiest trade corridors. This is where the Houthi rebels launched devastating attacks on commercial shipping lines in 23 and 24. According to Reuters and CNBC, oil prices jumped more than 7% within hours of this report. And as of tonight, the White House has not commented other than to say that on their end, negotiation talks are accelerating. Craig, your thoughts as we go into tonight dealing with the Iranian conflict?
Bomb the crap out of them. Hit everything on the coastline of every country they're talking about. Take out the Houthis completely. Let the A-10 strafe the Strait of Hormuz. We should start doing it in the Caspian Sea too, because Iran's going through there too. Not much, but they're going through, and then just start hitting all the targets in Iran. I'm sure Israel has got every IRGC place located. We just need to start hitting them. And
well, it's like I said to you first thing this morning, was it's not like they don't have a drone, a death drone, if you will, aimed at every single IRGC member and every underling underneath.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of restraint at this point. And late breaking news this afternoon is that the president of Iran has essentially offered his resignation. He has requested to resign, citing the total takeover by the IRGC commanders. This, to me, makes it sound like we said this for a month. We have no idea who we're negotiating with. Nobody has any power. And now that this is happening, it seems like all possibility of any coherent act of reality is being thrown out the window.
It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. The IRGC doesn't care anything about the Iranian citizens, not a lick, because they killed 30 or 40,000 of them when they initially protested.
Right.
And him offering to resign, how do you offer to resign? You just do it and go away.
Right.
Except maybe in Iran and these other terrorist countries that, they need a figurehead they can put out there. But this guy is, as we've been saying for a couple months, he has no power, no negotiating ability. He can say this, but the IRGC is going to turn around and say, no, we're not, because the IRGC does not want to fold. They want to wait it out. They'll wait out Trump's entire term, because they think if a Democrat gets in, then they can do whatever they want again.
Well, it is interesting because they are they are tying their lack of cooperation into Lebanon and Israel, which brings us to the second story of the night and their companion stories. Because what's happening in Lebanon is the reason Iran gave for walking away from the table. Israel's parallel war with Lebanon escalated sharply today and is directly intertwined with the Iranian diplomacy collapse, which we just discussed. Here's what we know. As of yesterday, Sunday, Israeli forces captured Beaufort Castle, a 900-year-old hilltop fortress in southern Lebanon that Prime Minister Netanyahu called the deepest penetration of Israeli forces in Lebanon in over a quarter century. Netanyahu used the moment to announce he was ordering the military to expand its ground operation further north into Lebanon. Then today, Netanyahu went further. Reuters is reporting that he ordered airstrikes on Beirut's Dahieh district, the southern suburb of the Lebanese capital, considered a Hezbollah stronghold. Lebanese security sources told Al Jazeera that large numbers of civilians began fleeing Dahieh in their cars, jamming roads leading out of the suburb after Netanyahu released a video message on Telegram tonight saying, and I'm quoting, "We are at war with Hezbollah and we will intensify our strikes. We are not taking our foot off the gas. On the contrary, I said to step on the gas even more." A CNN report citing an Israeli official confirmed that those airstrikes on Beirut were coordinated with the United States. According to Lebanon's health ministry, now at least 3,433 people have been killed in Lebanon since Israel's ground war against Hezbollah began on March 2nd of this year. More than 10,000 have been wounded. Today, at least 608 of those deaths have occurred since the April 16th partial truce alone, meaning the killing has continued even during the supposed ceasefire. Lebanon's Prime Minister Nawaf Salam has accused Israel of pursuing, in his words, a scorched earth policy. The U.S. has separately put forward what Al Jazeera is calling a roadmap for de-escalation, with Secretary of State Marco Rubio having held calls with Lebanese officials. But tonight, those diplomatic overtures appear to have had no impact on the ground. However, just before we went on the air, it appears that Lebanon and Israel have once again entered into a ceasefire truce. This is not a peace negotiation, but this is a ceasefire truce, a 60-day ceasefire. However, again, that has not held more than 48 hours at all.
Yeah, I could not. I forgot to get the video of Hezbollah launching mortars from inside of tents through a little slit. They're dressed in civilian clothes, and the reason they're dressed in civilian clothes, if Israel hits them with a rocket or machine gun fire or something, they can say that they're killing Lebanese citizens.
They can, I think.
And so it's all a big propaganda game. And now with a 60-day ceasefire, you're right, it'll probably last 2 days before they start launching rockets again. You know, they used to launch 5,000 or 6,000 a day between Hamas and Hezbollah into Israel, and they took it. Well, they've had it. They are done of getting bombed indiscriminately for years. Now, they've got the weaponry, they've got the military, they've laid all this stuff out, and they're going after them hard, and I don't have a problem with it at all.
Yeah. Well, I guess my other question is, when the U.S. is coordinating strikes on Beirut with Israel while simultaneously trying to negotiate peace with Iran, which backs Hezbollah, how do those two things coexist diplomatically? I understand how they're working right now, but how does the U.S. and Israel expect, if they even expect, to move forward with peace negotiations if they're stepping on the gas in Beirut?
Last time I checked, America wasn't bombing Lebanon. America was not bombing Hezbollah. I don't recall us doing that. Why would a peace deal or a worked out negotiation between Iran and the United States involve Lebanon? Lebanon and Israel got their own thing going on, just like Iran and Israel got something going on. So I don't think that was ever part of our peace deal. That's what Iran wanted. And why do you want to, protect the terrorists unless you want them to keep terrorizing and trying to take out Israel forever? So it's a non-issue. I think it's a non-issue between the Iran and U.S. treaty, but Iran has thrown it in now because anything they can add to not do a ceasefire, they're going to do.
Well, I agree. I guess let me just be the devil's advocate here. uh, the the civilian death toll has gone up, but Israel is also
Where is Hezbollah
I
launching
totally
rockets from? How can you fight when they're in an apartment building, they're next to a school, they're under a hospital? What
totally
can
agree.
you do? Just let them keep bombing the crap out of you?
I totally agree. But let me add the other part of this is that now with Israel saying we've taken over this Lebanese stronghold, this 900-year-old Lebanese stronghold, it sounds like Israel is potentially in the game of taking over area that is
Well,
under sovereign land.
it's not a real castle. It's a 900-year-old dilapidated castle.
It is, but it
It's
is
not
in
like one of them you see on Game of Thrones.
right, right, but it is in Lebanon.
But
It's
it
in
is a historic thing for them. So it's got this symbolic meaning. I don't think they do anything from because if you see pictures of it, it's all crumbling on top and everything. But it is the deepest they've gone in. And, Israel gave up part of their land that they had captured, I guess, in 67 with
correct.
Lebanon. They gave part of the land they already had, or they gave up part of the state of Israel to I'll have to look and see. But I just,
Part of negotiated terms with Egypt and Lebanon.
yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Well, it's just something to. I believe over the next few hours we will probably. I believe that for the first time, the cards are on the table now, and I feel like President Trump and his administration genuinely only have two options at this point. It is
Walk away.
take the L and walk away. You didn't get the regime change you wanted, and potentially lose the midterms because of it. I'm just being completely honest about it.
Right. Yeah.
Or you go in and you achieve the goals that you wanted militarily. You change the regime and you move forward. I honestly don't know what the other
But
options.
it's just you see the videos because Iran has opened up their internet now, and
Oh yeah, it was
they've been
last
sneaking
crazy.
some videos out where you see the Iranians on the street praising Trump and telling him to keep doing it, don't stop. Yet in America, we're protesting. We want America to stop so that those people can be terrorized, I guess, for another 50 years. It
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense at all.
it
And
sure does.
not just us, but terrorize the world.
Yeah, this has been a nearly 50-year
Yep, we're in year
terrorist
48. Yep.
terrorist activity that
And then
has
just
to come to an end at some point.
turn them A-10s loose on the boats that Iran is what do you say, guarding the Strait of Hormuz with. They look like boats on Lake Cumberland.
They're
I
like
saw some
fishing,
videos of them today.
and not even
Oh,
the biggest ones on Lake
yeah.
Cumberland.
Yeah, right. Don't waste $1 million rocket on it. Just turn the A-10 loose, let it expend all its bullets, come back, load him up again, and take off again just till you wipe them all out.
They have no navy.
Right. Yeah, that's why they're using pleasure boats.
Iran has no navy at this point.
Yeah.
So it's not like it would be we're talking
But you're going up against
minutes if hours.
ships that have no defense at all.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And heaven forbid they ever cause one of them oil tankers to explode, whether it's full or even worse when it's half full or a quarter full, because you talk about an explosion and pollution. And then, of course, just like, it'll get blamed on the United States. Environmentalists will blame it on the United States. It's our fault that the Strait is now polluted or whatever. And I was trying to think of that one California rep. He blamed Trump for the wildfires in Los Angeles last year. I don't know how the heck you do that, but they're just going to spin it, and the mainstream media is going to run with it, and people are going to believe it.
Yeah, I agree. Moving on from over on the international stage to a major domestic law enforcement story that's been generating national headlines over the last couple of days. An ICE agent has been charged with shooting a Venezuelan man during a federal immigration sweep in Minneapolis and has been arrested in Texas. The complete story is kind of a wild one. On January 14th, federal immigration agents were conducting Operation Metro Surge, a large-scale enforcement action in Minneapolis. During that operation, ICE agent Christian Castro, 52, allegedly shot Julio Cesar Sosa Celis through the front door of a house. Sosa Celis, who was shot in the thigh, prosecutors say was legally in the United States. The Trump administration's initial account was that DHS publicly stated that Sosa Celis and another man, his cousin Alfredo Alhorna, had attacked the officer with a shovel and a broom. Both men were publicly charged with assaulting a federal officer. Former DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, who has now left the administration, called it on the record an act of attempted murder. The administration widely circulated their mugshots. Then video evidence and witness accounts emerged that directly contradicted every single element of the federal narrative. The Justice Department dropped all charges against both men in February, acknowledging that officers had made, quote, untruthful statements about the incident. ICE Director Todd Lyons later confirmed two agents had lied about what had happened. On May 18th, Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty charged Castro with 4 counts of second-degree assault with a deadly weapon and 1 count of falsely reporting a crime. A nationwide arrest warrant was issued. Moriarty told reporters at the time, quote, Mr. Castro is an ICE agent, but his federal badge does not make him immune from state charges for his criminal conduct in Minnesota. Last Friday, the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension tracked Castro in Texas. He was taken into custody in Cameron County near the Mexican border by a joint team that included Texas Ranger and Minnesota officials. Moriarty
he wasn't running, though.
No, he was not. I mean, that's where he sounds like that's where he lived. Moriarty responded to the arrest by saying, today's arrest is a critical step toward prosecution of Mr. Castro. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison added, in Minnesota, we believe in equal justice under the law. That means nobody is above the law. DHS issued a statement calling the arrest, and I want to be very precise here, quote, unlawful and nothing more than a political stunt, adding, quote, this is a federal issue and it must be handled at the federal level. But DHS simultaneously acknowledged in that statement that, quote, lying under oath is a serious federal offense. The U.S. Attorney's Office is actively investigating these statements. Upon conclusion of the investigation, the officers may face disciplinary action, including termination of employment, as well as potential criminal prosecution, end quote. Note that the DHS Office of Inspector General later disputed that its agents participated in the arrest, saying, quote, any characterization the DHS OIG agents participated in or led the arrest operation is inaccurate. So even the federal government's various arms are not aligned on what happened during the arrest itself. Castro was the second ICE agent charged for conduct during Operation Metro Surge. A separate agent, Gregory Donnell Morgan Jr., was charged last month with felony assault for allegedly pointing a gun at the heads of 2 civilians from his vehicle on a Minnesota highway. And I think this is important that people who are new to the show don't understand, is that you and I, while we may have our own political bent, we believe that there should be no noise. You should be above the noise. And if people do wrong, people should be punished for doing wrong. And this may be a situation where someone did wrong. Now, the question will be federal authority versus state authority, and I think that will be an interesting discussion. But it sounds like right now that an individual did something wrong and has been arrested and has been charged, and they'll make their arguments in front of a judge, and we'll go from there. Craig, your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, I thought there was video of this attack, but I found a news story that said the feds were attempting to arrest Sosa Celis, and then as they were struggling on the ground, 2 guys come out of a nearby apartment building, striking an officer with a snow shovel and a broom handle. Then Celis broke free, and he struck the officer as well. And so now it's 3 against 1. That's when he fired a defensive shot and hit him in the leg.
Yeah.
Now, it's just a news story, so you don't know who to believe anymore. But you'll never know. In Minneapolis, the guy's going to lose. There's no doubt about it. The ICE officer's going to lose. They'll convict him and then move on to the next one. And it'll be, I just don't know. You don't know what the truth is anymore. The news media spins it all the way around. You get the officer statement, then you got DHS. One part of it believes him, one part of it doesn't.
And I think the interesting thing about that is the fact that DHS now is essentially talking a little bit about both sides of their mouths. They will say, these guys lied. They we're investigating it. But on the flip side of that is this is a federal matter and the state can't do anything about it. If it happened in our state and a federal officer did something wrong and you could bring state charges. Yes, you could also bring federal charges or not bring federal charges, but it doesn't prevent you from bringing state charges. And people should be feel safe, and there has to be accountability for bad policing too. And I think
Sure, no doubt.
that's something that you and I, who we all have, we have great friends who are police officers, and you worked with law enforcement officers as I do every day, and I think they would all tell you if somebody did something wrong, they should be punished accordingly. And in this case, I don't know that you're necessarily going to get a fair situation in Minneapolis, Minnesota, but you're obviously, if you do something wrong, you're going to be under a microscope, and you just have to.
But anything they're doing, they're under a microscope. Any ICE agent, no matter what they do, they're under a microscope. If they get attacked by 100 people, throwing bottles, rocks, anything they can get their hands on, remember them taking a little hammer and chipping away pieces of concrete curbs in Seattle and throwing them at the police. But they're not arrested.
That's the other thing, is that, you want justice for all, and these guys are running around just trying to, protect themselves from, being hit in the head with rocks.
What would happen if the police just withdrew? Just said the heck with it. If you want to burn your city, we'll let the state take care of it. Don't call the federal police in. Don't call the National Guard in, which the governor can do.
Yep.
But it's just hard to believe that federal law enforcement is trying to do something and state law enforcement is not allowed to help. Yep. They would help, I'm sure, but they're being told by their political bosses that they cannot help.
For those of you who are just joining us, thank you for joining us tonight. We are seeing your messages in the chat over here. If we have any UK sports information, and we'll talk about UK here in a little bit, but if we have any breaking news in UK sports, we will break into that as well.
Instantly. Yeah, instantly. We've been waiting all weekend, talking about it all weekend.
Trust me, we have. So that'll take us to the next story of the day. Another, not a great story, but one that we're having to deal with in today's reality. The Trump administration's ongoing military campaign of strikes against alleged drug trafficking vessels in the Eastern Pacific Ocean and Caribbean Sea crossed 205 total deaths this weekend, with 4 separate attacks in a single week. Beginning in early September of last year, the Trump administration declared the U.S. is in a, quote, armed conflict with Latin American drug cartels and began conducting what it calls lethal kinetic strikes on boats it identifies as narco-trafficking vessels. The campaign is called Operation Southern Spear. It's run by the U.S. Southern Command under Marine General Francis Donovan, and after every strike, Southcom posts a video on social media showing the boat exploding. Southcom's standard statement for every strike reads, the vessel was, quote, operated by designated terrorist organizations, was transiting along known narco-trafficking routes, and was engaged in narco-trafficking operations. The dead are always referred to as narco-terrorists. At the conclusion of the most recent attack, Southcom posted, Southcom is unwavering in its commitment to applying total systemic friction on the cartels. Here is what Southcom does not provide. It has never told us the names of any of those that have been killed, the specific evidence that each vessel was carrying drugs, or the names of the designated terrorist organizations. Although I think that's kind of a given, Craig. I mean, we know what those are if we don't know the specific name of the individuals. The campaign has drawn scrutiny from some members of Congress since the beginning. Normally, those who are not along the southern border.
Correct.
You have some armchair quarterbacks from,
They want us to pull up and say, hey, are you a narco terrorist?
Yeah.
If you are, we're going to blow you up. If you tell us not, you're just fishing, even though you got,
be honest with us. Right?
You got 800 gallons of gasoline and you got all these containers that are full of this white powdery looking stuff. If that's your fish bait, then, just go ahead. Go ahead and take it into the United States and kill more Americans.
Yeah.
We support it.
The question is, and I see this all the time on my Twitter feed, it comes down and it says, did you vote for this? Did you vote for
what's everybody reply, Kyle?
Everybody says, absolutely,
yes,
I did. And I think that's the thing that always backfires when you're getting ready to vote on social.
How can you not be finally, after all, they made a Miami Vice, they've made movies, right. They've had all kinds of stuff about the cocaine and everything coming in from Central America and Colombia. What was the big drug dealer's name that's in Colorado now?
El Chapo.
Yeah, Chapo offered to pay off Colombia's entire debt to the United States, $30 billion. Yeah. If the United States would leave him alone. That's how much money that guy had.
Yeah.
Now, but we never did find out how many deaths were caused by the crack and the cocaine and all the gangs in the United States killing each other for a few yards of one street corner or another.
Well, the other thing about that is that what we do know right now is that fentanyl and those type of narcotics are killing 100,000 Americans a
Yep,
year.
103 and
So,
107,000 the last 2 years.
Since the pandemic occurred, and they can talk about, oh, we have lower numbers. You don't. It's hitting every single small town in America, and those are just the ones we know about. I mean, there are
Right.
tons of people, that just disappear and things of that nature. But 100,000 young people,
But how many mass graves do they find every year in Mexico?
right?
There's 60 people
Right.
buried in there. They had to bring heavy equipment in to dig the holes, and the cartels just go wipe out a whole city. Judges are killed there like the wind blows here in
Oh
the
yeah,
United States.
people don't want to run for
Why
office.
you wanna be a judge or a mayor in Mexico is beyond me.
Yep.
Because you just might as well plan on dying.
Uh, we'll obviously update this as time goes on,
And someday
Yep.
we'll go into Mexico with our military and
I
put
think we'll have to. It's the only logical thing to end this eventually.
Yeah.
So, now to a story with significant implications. In the next couple days, Iowa and California hold their primaries tomorrow, and both parties are watching this state as a bellwether. We'll talk first about Iowa. Iowa holds its 2026 midterm primary elections. Both parties are watching this closely as one of the earliest, clearest signals of what November will look like. The story is on the front pages of Bloomberg, NPR, and Iowa Public Radio. Iowa is a state Trump won by 13 points, Craig, in 2024, and has lurched solidly rightward over the past decade. But as of today, Bloomberg is reporting that Iowa Democrats are, in their words, feeling a new sensation of hope.
feel away. Feel
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, it reminds me of the pollster. I can't think what her name is, Ann something. And she
Right.
she said that he was going to win by 6 or 7 or she was going to win by 6 or 7 points, and she went into her
Talk
local.
about Kamala Harris.
Yeah, she walked into her local liquor store and bought some champagne and told really made the kid behind the counter feel terrible about it, and then she she missed that one by 13
But
points.
yeah, and she had been, a nationwide famous prognosticator, and she missed this one so bad.
And seltzer.
Yeah, and the numbers didn't match what she was saying. It was propaganda put out by her newspaper, and what happened at the end? She resigned.
She retired and resigned.
Yeah, they resigned her is what they did.
Yeah, the state's top race tomorrow, an open governor's seat after Republican Governor Kim Reynolds' term limited out. 5 Republicans are competing for the GOP nomination, and Trump made a last-minute endorsement of Congressman Randy Feenstra, trying to go 120-0.
Yeah, that's to take Joni Ernst's spot, right?
That's for governor. Now, in the Senate race, Joni Ernst is retiring. And Trump has endorsed Representative Ashley Hinson over a primary challenger, which would make him, I believe, 121-0 if she wins.
Yeah, people don't understand. After the Texas elections, Trump has endorsed, I think, was it 108 total at that time?
It was 112. I think we're at 119 now.
Yeah, where he's endorsed them. He has 0 losses, 119-0.
Yeah.
But yet the media keeps saying his poll numbers are 30%, and he's doing horrible everywhere. But you get an endorsement from Trump so far anyway, you're going to win.
Well, beyond this horse race, what's driving the story tonight is what's happening in Iowa's economy. Bloomberg is reporting that Iowa's soybean exports to China dropped from $12.6 billion in 2024 to just $3.1 billion last year. However, Craig, and I do as well, that just recently in his trip to China and met with Xi Jinping, China agreed to increase again their soybean purchases. So that'll make a big difference in the area.
Above the 20 million bushels.
Right.
Above what they've historically bought.
NPR reports that President Trump faces record low approval ratings nationally, and that economic pain is showing up in Iowa's farm country in a real way. NPR spoke with Iowa Republican Party Chairman Jeff Kaufman, who urged the crowd at a recent Faith and Freedom event to embrace, quote, unity after the primary, warning if we don't do that, then there could be consequences. Democratic Senate primary candidate Robert Sands, campaign manager, told Iowa Public Radio that Feenstra has been, quote, writing the bill that makes the largest cuts to Medicaid in history and supporting costly tariffs hurting Iowa farmers. And Iowa's not the only one, is not the only state voting tomorrow. The one that everyone is keeping an eye on right now, California.
We had a lot of fun with that one, too.
Yeah. California also holds its primary on June 2nd. And frankly, the California race may be even more consequential for both parties heading into November. We've got two races to break down tonight, Craig, two of your favorite ones to watch right now. The governor's primary to replace a term-limited Gavin Newsom, and the Los Angeles mayoral primary, which has one of the most unlikely candidates in American political history threatening to force the sitting mayor into a runoff. Let's start with the governor's race, and we'll end with your favorite race. Here's how California works. It uses what's called a top two nonpartisan primary. Every candidate,
jungle
primary. Democrats, Republicans, Independents, they all go in, and the top two go on to run off in the general election in November. The two candidates with the most votes go on. Gavin Newsom is term limited and cannot seek a third term. There are 61 candidates on the ballot. Republicans have not won a statewide race in California since 2006.
And that's normal for California to have that many candidates.
And yet earlier this year, there was a real conversation about whether two Republicans might advance to November because the Democratic field was so fragmented. It has changed somewhat, and here's why. Because former Congressman Eric Swalwell dropped out of the race, which actually hurt Republicans, believe it or not.
Right.
And Steve Hilton consolidated Republican support following an endorsement for President Trump. As political data analyst Paul Mitchell put it, one fewer Democrat to split up the vote on their side. So where does the race stand going into tomorrow's primary? The most recent polling from the Public Policy Institute of California, and you can take that for as far as you can throw it.
Public policy, they're not a reliable poll.
No.
None of them are.
Surveying 986 likely voters shows these five candidates have double-digit support. Javier Becerra, which is just hilarious to me that they may elect this guy.
That's the guy that'll probably win.
Yeah, paper tiger of all people.
Yeah.
Leads at 23%, followed by Steve Hilton at 20%, Tom Steyer at 15%, Chad Bianco at 13%, and Katie Porter at a distant 12%. A separate UC Berkeley IGS poll, again, another poll you could probably take it for as far as you could throw it.
From Berkeley, yeah.
Tells a similar story, but has Becerra leading at 25% among likely voters. The race for second, which determines who faces Becerra in November, appears to be a battle between Hilton and Steyer. So who are these people? Well, Becerra served as California's Attorney General and then as Biden's Secretary of Health and Human Services. He was also the guy that you saw in front of every congressional meeting, refusing to answer any question, essentially stonewalled the government for 4 years. He never gave an answer. I never saw him give an answer. Never saw him give an answer about the coronavirus. He's the Democrat establishment choice and his consolidated backing after Swalwell's exit. Essentially, what happened was the Democrats realized that they potentially were going to have Hilton and Chad Bianco running against each other, so they went after Swalwell. I mean, it was they ate their own.
Right.
Got Swalwell out and
Katie Porter
and released all that, and now Javier Becerra has all of it, and it is what it is. It's California politics at its best, but Steve Hilton is a British-born conservative commentator and former Fox News host. He's Trump-endorsed and pushing tax cuts, deregulation, and a hard line on.
He is American, though. He is American.
He is American. Tom Steyer is a billionaire investor and climate activist who has spent an eye-popping amount of his own money flooding.
Who do Democrats hate worse?
They hate billionaires. They hate
billionaires,
and they might
love Tom Steyer.
Yeah. Because he's a billionaire that spends his money on the environment. So
but it makes no sense that they hate billionaires everywhere except for Tom Steyer.
I will say this: it is reported today that Steyer has spent more than, get this, Craig, $192 million of his
own
own personal money on just advertising in this
Now,
race.
how many homeless small houses? I'll talk Democrat now. How many small houses could that have built for the homeless? How many poor people could that have fed?
In LA,
How
about
many
4.
schools could that have? How many schools could he have built with 192? Maybe one in California, expensive as it is, but he could have done so much money to help the downtrodden, and he blew it on TV commercials and newspaper ads.
Yeah.
What kind of heartless fool is that billionaire? No wonder nobody likes billionaires when they just throw around 192 million like you and I throw around $20.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And if
That
he
was
would
fun.
win,
That was fun, by the way.
I know that one felt good, didn't it? It's interesting because even if he wins, they're going to be so limited in the amounts that they actually can spend. He's going to spend more than the state is able to spend on the issues that they talk about. It's fascinating.
Yeah,
to understand.
I mean that's just FU money right there. We always joke about it. That is absolutely what a total waste.
One Hilton campaign advisor told ABC that Steyer is already extremely overexposed financially. So take that for what it's worth. But you're a billionaire and you got it, whatever you do. So what do the betting markets say? And you know that I believe that the best way to determine how people are going to do is what these prediction markets say. As of tonight, Becerra's odds are listed at 74% on Polymarket, 72% on Kalshi to win the governorship outright in November. Steyer comes in second on both sites, just shy of 20%. For just advancing out of tomorrow's primary, Becerra has a 93% chance of advancing. Hilton carries a 76% odd.
And if Bianco would have dropped out, they would be close, but still in the end, Becerra's going to win because he just looks like a politician.
Yep. The big unresolved question going into tomorrow is that second slot. Pollster Mark DiCamillo put it plainly. Now we can kind of see with some clarity that it's going to be Becerra, Hilton, and Steyer, and two of them will advance to the general election. He says he doesn't have a crystal ball for Tuesday. We'll have to wait and see. The markets say Hilton advances. The most recent polls say Steyer may be catching him. I don't think we'll know, but we'll move on to your favorite topic, which is the Los Angeles mayor's race. And this is where it gets so genuinely interesting. Los Angeles mayors usually coast to a second term. The last two defeated token opposition in the primary. Karen Bass's chances for a smooth re-election likely vanished on January 7th, 2025, when the Palisades fire destroyed 6,800 structures, including the home of reality star Spencer Pratt. Yes, that's Spencer Pratt.
Right.
MTV's The Hills. He's running for mayor of Los Angeles, and he is not a joke candidate, although just like Trump, a lot of people thought he was to start off with, and they all laughed at the idea, and he's
advancing even today.
Yeah.
He is making more inroads, and if he just gets to the top two, they're now talking. Even CNN and MS, whatever you are
MS
today,
Now.
MS Now, they're saying Pratt has a chance in the November election if he makes the final two. But that ramen noodle chick, she's at 22%. I heard him call her that today.
Yeah,
and she's a communist Marxist, and she's at 22% of the vote. What is wrong with these people?
Well, and that's the other thing. You know, over the weekend, she was very upset because there was a fake homeless encampment that was set up outside of her house, which is
Wasn't that hilarious?
Because she's basically said that you should not do anything to the homeless, like let them be where the homeless are.
So they moved them into her front yard, her sidewalk.
Yeah, her Beverly Hills area. She didn't like that very much. So Pratt
called the police. She called the police.
Yeah, that's
felt unsafe.
Yeah,
that was so funny.
So
Twitter, if you ever want to find stuff out, man, just hang out on Twitter because it will be there 3 or 4 days if the mainstream media even reports on it at all.
Well, Pratt announced his candidacy 1 year after the fire. And he centered his campaign on homelessness, crime, fire preparedness, and the cost of doing business in Los Angeles. He's polling at 22% among likely voters in the UC Berkeley Los Angeles Times poll, just behind Bass at 26%, and city council member Nithya Raman at 25%. Both Pratt and Rahman gained 8 percentage points since March. Bass has hit back. She accused Pratt of exploiting the tragedy for political gain.
What isn't that what politicians do?
Just irony, just total
God
irony,
almighty.
especially considering the voice messages that have been released since then of her.
And I wonder if she sent that while she was in Ghana.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Pratt,
maybe she did. I don't know.
yeah, Pratt responded that he knew people who burned alive across the street from his childhood home and won community awards for supporting Palisades residents after the fire. His campaign has been blunt. He has called Bass negligent and corrupt and alleged she worked with a celebrity crisis PR firm to alter the after-action report on the Palisades failures. Allegation Bass denies, but there's evidence, there's proof of it that she actually did that. Bass's campaign spokesman shot back with a memorable line saying Spencer is just mad that his supporters are AI cartoons, which is hilarious because his AI videos have gotten more play on social media than any other political ads in the history of ever. And it's unbelievable.
Who did Bass initially make the scapegoat? The Los Angeles fire chief.
Right. Immediately.
That lady did everything she could do to fight those fires.
She did.
And at least she was at home in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
While Bass was in Africa.
Yeah. So that leads us to,
Jimmy Kimmel, he attacked Spencer Pratt viciously. Jimmy Kimmel of blackface fame.
Yeah.
He attacked Pratt saying he was a bad guy on these reality shows. Well, if you're getting paid big money and they tell you to be the bad guy, just like in wrestling.
Right. You're the heel.
One guy's a good guy, one guy's the heel. You're still getting paid the big money. And if that's what you're good at, what it's TV, it's television. Absolutely. It ain't real. But Jimmy Kimmel is using it against it. And then found out that Jimmy Kimmel's wife, who's a bigger liberal than he is, she's his head writer on the TV show.
Yeah. And Spencer Pratt this week actually showed a picture of Jimmy Kimmel's house as he was making fun of Spencer Pratt living
in the Airstream.
Living in the hotel. He says he's not really living in that Airstream. He's living in a swanky hotel and
Bel Air.
The Bel Air Hotel, and he's like, "This is your house. This is your multi-gajillion-dollar house, and you're saying that I'm living it up at the Bel Air Hotel. What a joke!" So, what do the markets say? You're gonna love to hear this, Craig. As of right now, Polymarket has Bass at 64%, Pratt at 21%, and Rahman at 14%. But in the primary, it has Spencer Pratt with a 78% chance of advancing to the runoff tomorrow. So
that would be spectacular.
Rahman's odds. I just wanted to so we can get 6 more months of his campaign.
I mean, Bass is going to win because that's what California does. Yeah. But I mean, there'll be more homelessness, there'll be more crime, there'll be more drug use. Nothing will change when you vote for the same politicians again and again and again. Nothing's ever going to change because they know there's no political ramifications for trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, the political caveat in this is
that's anywhere.
A candidate can win outright if they receive more than 50% of the vote in the primary. So, since 1933, every open election for Los Angeles mayor has advanced to a general election, but Bass is the incumbent, not a wide open race. No one is close to 50%. So, a November runoff is virtually certain at this point. So, and if it's Rahman and Bass, boring. Who cares? It's not going to be any. Nothing's going to change.
Just like New York's changing, Portland's changed, Seattle's changed, Minneapolis has changed, St. Paul, Minneapolis has changed. Just to add LA to the list.
Well, and people in LA need to look at Seattle and New York right now. Though there are folks in Seattle, New York, who have in Portland who have major buyer's remorse right now.
Oh yeah,
there are protests every night in those cities.
And housing prices are going down. I think it's Portland. That's a different discussion.
Yeah,
because all these companies are moving out of Portland and Washington. In general, and the movement I'll see if you know this. This is really getting deep. The movement of Eastern Washington State, to join Idaho, is gaining steam. It's been on a roll for a couple of years. Now, Idaho is working to get them.
Yeah, the Idaho legislature has passed a resolution to essentially welcome them in if they can separate. However, Washington State has said that there's absolutely no way that they would
because that's the Republican rich part of the state, and then they can't fund all their socialist policies. Just like Atlanta losing that one suburb, if they form their own city, they're using the money to pay all these services for these people that don't want to work.
Well, those polls close at 7:00 Pacific time, so it's going to be 10 p.m. tomorrow.
Yeah,
we might be on just for fun, just to see what happens.
Yeah,
see if we can.
I'll be watching it for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It'll be after the NBA finals. The first final game will be coming to an end.
Oh, the first final game not until Wednesday. I just saw that.
I thought it was Tuesday.
Oh, they changed it. Wednesday.
Oh, why'd they move it?
I have no probably.
Maybe they want San Antonio to win.
Maybe they
over the Knicks.
Give them
an extra day of rest.
It's like it's 1994 all over again with the Spurs and the Knicks are both good.
It's going to be a great series.
Let's move on to some Kentucky stories for you guys who are here for some Kentucky news. We don't have good news for Kentucky right now, but we got a couple stories that are going to make a difference for everybody. If you drove anywhere near Louisville today, you already know this, but a 5-mile stretch of Interstate 65 is officially closed through the heart of downtown from Jefferson Street to the Waterston Expressway, and it will stay closed through July 31st at least. And here's the crazy thing about this. The Kentucky Transportation Cabinet is replacing 3 elevated bridge sections along the I-65 corridor. These bridges were built in the late 1950s when the interstate system actually was built the first time.
Right.
They've never been replaced.
Yeah, it needs to be done. Yeah.
State highway engineer James Ballinger explained why the decision was made to do a complete closure, saying that these structures have been maintained regularly over the years, but they are at the end of their service life. He added, closing the interstate for a concentrated period allows the work to progress safer, faster, and more effectively. The $155 million project will give the new overpass an approximate 75-year service life. KYTC spokesperson Mindy Peterson put the scope in these plain terms, saying, quote, "We know when we talk about congestion, there are," get this, Craig, 125,000 drivers who will be looking for new routes
per day.
She also cautioned that the broader project, which involves a total of 9 bridges along the corridor, means traffic impacts will be with Louisville until late 2027. The full project is expected to complete in 2028.
Right, but don't think this is a negative.
Oh, no, it needs to be done.
This has to be done. People always complain. When I worked in transportation for 30 years, it was always a big joke. People would complain when the roads weren't repaired. Then they complained while they were getting repaired. The cabinet could not win.
Yeah. The signed detour for through traffic route drivers onto I-264, the Georgia Davis Powers Expressway around the west side of the city. City leaders are warning drivers to expect commutes at least 20 minutes longer and to avoid rush hours if possible completely. Ballinger's message to Louisville was simple, quote, "Please tell all your friends, your family, and anyone that you know might be visiting Louisville this summer that our roadways will be more congested. That's why it's important to have a plan now and to be preparing for it now." Downtown Louisville area hospitals, the Kentucky Expo Center, and the Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport all remain accessible. Southbound I-65 from University Boulevard to the Waterston Expressway is expected to partially reopen by July 1st, with full reopening targeting for August 1st. I will tell you, Craig, both my daughters are home right now, but one will be headed back for her internship in downtown Louisville, and it's going to make commuting.
How are you going to get there? Getting all the way, because that's all the way through.
It is. She's at the University of Louisville. She's got to go through downtown.
Hold on. Let me wipe my eyes. You said the words.
Listen. That's my cantankerous daughter. She's downstairs. She's probably watching the show right now. She has steered her own way through life, and she's been very, very successful. But Dad went to University of Kentucky, so daughter to the University of Louisville by
Right,
default.
yeah.
So
But and it won't affect the people of Louisville because they know all the routes. They know
they
how
do,
to get around
they
it.
do. But I will tell you,
Was this gonna the interstate commerce, man, those truck drivers, it's gotta be done. There's no doubt about it. But it's gonna add a lot of time to them on the road.
if you are going into Louisville for conventions or anything else, take extra time. Take an extra
Yeah,
hour. I know that sounds crazy. Go ahead and do it. There was a terrible accident today. We won't show any photos of
yeah,
it that we have, but it is even on straight roadways here in Franklin County, it's very dangerous on these highways with
yeah.
major semi trucks and things. So take your time and do not be in a rush. And
But we're gonna avoid Louisville for the next 2 months as much as we
avoid
can.
Louisville for the next 2 months. And listen, Milan Momcilovic, it's going to be really busy in Louisville. You don't want that's going to be congested. The traffic's going to be terrible. You don't
Yeah.
want to go there.
Why would you
Come
wanna
to
do that?
Lexington. Just come to Lexington. It's going to be a
Come to
lot better.
Lexington, hop on a horse if the cars ain't working. We
That's
still
right.
got plenty of horses. You can run around campus on a horse and be really cool.
That's right. You'd be a legend, by the way.
Yeah.
This is a $155 million project, Craig. Where's that money coming from? Well, it's federal infrastructure funds and a mixture of state funds as well, and the road funds that have been building up. And given the political fights over spending in Washington, this is kind of investment secure for future projects. This is a project that's already going to be started now and will go into 2028. You know, it may make some people upset about what's going to go on.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. Well, we had on from exit 48 to exit 53 eastbound. Our KYTC. I said KYTC replaced and repaired 4 bridges. That took 2 years. They're going to get what 2 bridges or 3 bridges done in 2 months.
Yeah, three bridges.
Yeah, we would go weeks of perfectly beautiful weather, and they wouldn't be hitting a lick on our bridges. They'll probably be working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to get them knocked out that quick.
I don't know how they wouldn't, but it's just it's something to keep an eye on over the next few months. And they say it'll be 2 months, and you know how these projects go. Sometimes 2 months turns into 10 months.
If it rains and
Yeah.
all that stuff, yeah.
If it snows in July or something, the way this weather's going lately, who knows? We close tonight with a story that is much closer to home and a tragedy and a hard one to hear in northern Kentucky that has shaken a community across the region. Sunday evening, Kentucky State Police were called to a collision in Carrollton. A 44-year-old man from Carrollton, identified as Daniel Crawford, was driving a 2010 white Nissan Altima when he rear-ended a horse and buggy carrying 3 children. Those children, members of the Old Order Amish community in northern Kentucky, were transported to Norton Children's Hospital in Louisville with life-threatening injuries. KSP later confirmed that one of the 3 children has died. The other 2 remain in critical condition. A family friend reached by news outlets asked the public for prayer, saying, please pray for the parents who tonight are facing every parent's worst nightmare. Pray for the siblings, cousins, aunts, uncles, grandparents, and friends who live, whose lives will never be the same. Pray for the children who witnessed the tragedy that will carry those memories with them forever. And please pray for the Amish community. No arrests have been made at this time. The crash is under active investigation and is being reconstructed by KSP Trooper Jordan Vota. The cause of the collision has not been officially determined. Obviously, we will update you on this if we get any more information. Craig, buggy car collisions are a recurring and serious issue in parts of Kentucky with Amish community. Is there more that you think can be done, whether it's road signage, education, reflective markings, public awareness to prevent these kinds of tragedies?
Well, they've already got the reflective markings, and a lot of them put that orange flag that you'd use on a golf course
Right.
on their buggies too. It's driver inattention and it's cell phones. That's what probably contributes to most of the car crashes today. If I look up at something, my wife smacks my hands to put it down, and so it's a hard habit to break because you're constant information all the time. And if anything comes along, I've got pictures, photographs of a lady in Louisville driving down the road reading a newspaper. It's opened up.
Yep.
And she's reading a newspaper. I got another one reading a book while they're driving at 70 miles an hour on I-64 right before we got off at Hurstbourne. I had my wife take pictures. I said, this is unbelievable. I'll see if I can dig them up for tomorrow's podcast, but it's unbelievable what you can see on driver inattention and like you mentioned, that wreck in Franklin County. I live by the interstate, and I hear sirens all the time, and it seems these crashes are on the straight part of the road.
Yep.
I don't understand it out of my area, but they happen. We hear those sirens way, way too often.
We do. And if you are a young driver, listen, if you're an experienced driver and there are young drivers in front of you, take your time.
Hey.
There's, leave earlier, try not to be in a rush. In these Amish communities, especially in northern Kentucky and in southern Ohio and in Pennsylvania, be aware because those horse and buggies are not moving as fast as cars, and you come up quick.
Yeah.
And
especially if you're speeding and it's dark.
Especially if you're speeding and if it's dark. So
I mean, and I got T-boned.
Yeah, you did.
And
changed your life.
How in the hell did it even happen?
Yep.
I don't remember none of the crash at all, but guy coming out of the road, was he on his phone too?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you go through a stop sign on a 2-lane road that's speed limit is 55 miles an hour, but it happens all the time? And
yeah, you all definitely be careful out there and make sure.
That's why I bought a much, much bigger vehicle, because I said, I'm not gonna take the hit like last time in that little Ford Escape.
Yeah, do not blame you at all. For those of you who are waiting on UK basketball news, we are waiting like everyone else. There is no news right now. There's a lot of people that are claiming that they know what is happening in the Milan Momcilovic story and saga.
Mm-hmm.
And
they're just generating clicks.
They're just generating clicks. Don't believe it until you actually hear it from us. We'll be the first to tell you because we will see it. UK baseball first pitch is in 1 minute in Morgantown versus West Virginia. It is Game 7 of the region. Winner gets to go to Super Region. Winner hosts the Super Regional. So UK has
a big game.
It is a big
huge game
because they were in the UCLA Super Region. UCLA lost last night to St. Mary's. They're out. The winner of St. Mary's and Cal Polytech will come to either Morgantown or Lexington. And UK blew a 3-run lead last night in the 9th. We won't talk about that. Short memory. We'll
beyond, because Coach Mangione, that's exactly what he told them.
Yep.
Forget about it. Put it behind you. We got another game tomorrow.
And go watch them. They are on ESPN Plus tonight. You can catch the game. It is starting right now,
and it's fun to watch.
It really is because it's not 2-1. UK is pitching their stud pitcher tonight, Jelkins, who is their star that they did not bring in the 9th last night. So they're gonna start him tonight, and we'll see what happens there. Craig, anything else you want to add before we jump off here?
Just the Momcilovic sweepstakes.
Yep.
You see all of these people that putting this stuff, and I understand it. They're doing it. That's their job. But what we talked about earlier, and we've talked about over the weekend. I don't understand if two scenarios. If he contacted Louisville, Kentucky, like both schools said, does that mean he's going to Arizona? Because I've not heard anywhere where he's contacted Arizona, and I've looked. Or why would he wait? NBA Finals tomorrow, elections in Iowa and California. It's going to be a busy news day. Why would he not do it tonight where he would have ESPN, all of Kentucky, most of the SEC following every move he makes? And, of course, maybe a couple of teams in the ACC, the one where your daughter goes to school at. It's just I'm not understanding the logic or the the advertising part of this to build up whatever they're trying to do. If it's done, today is the perfect day to do it because you got 4 more days of it being all over YouTube, being all over Twitter, being all over all of social media in the Big Blue Nation across the country.
Yep.
But if it could get lost tomorrow night if they do it. Initially it won't get lost after that. But
I don't think it'll get
lost. I thought tonight was the perfect marketing night to make the announcement, whichever way it goes.
It makes no sense, but no one else is
It's quiet.
Yet either.
It's amazingly
It's
quiet.
so quiet that the crazy you get to see what the crazies say, and that's when you know things are quiet.
It's amazingly
We
quiet.
do understand people are nervous. We're right there with you. We want to see good outcomes. So it's a must get. I will say that 2027 5-star shooting guard Ryan Hampton is planning on being at the University of Kentucky this week. There is some talk. There is some talk right now that he is considering reclassifying. Maybe that's a pivot. Some people are saying it's not. That it's still
reconsidering again.
Yeah. That's the talk.
Okay.
But seems
Somebody must have thrown some big money at him.
Seems a little late in the game. If not completely.
Now, seeing what Tab wrote.
Yeah.
Were you done?
No, I saw that.
Okay. Well, I mean, this is make or break for Pope. If he doesn't land Momcilovic after all and throwing out more money, I don't know how somebody would know this, said that UK upped their offer today when they both said they were at the top limit they were going to go. And is Pope willing to spend whatever it takes to get Momcilovic to save his job? What do you think?
It may not be money. It may not be money that ends up making this decision for Momcilovic. It may not be.
Right. And if it's not, let's say he does go to Louisville or Arizona, what's the status of Pope after this year? What do you think it is?
I think instead of UK pivoting to Ryan Hampton, UK may be pivoting to Billy Donovan. Just to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
And what is lost in all this is that in the next day or so, UK is going to announce who their new AD is going to be, and it's very likely like a Jeremiah Dickey or somebody like that.
It has to be. It's got to be some known person.
All of this is lost on that because of what's happening here. Also, we agree Jamal Crawford called his last game this weekend in the Western Conference Finals. That could be announced at any time that Jamal Crawford may be joining the coaching staff.
I was watching that hard.
Yeah, that's just as big, I think.
I thought at one moment when Reggie Miller asked him a question, I thought he was going to say it then. That I'm going to join UK, but it was something completely different.
Yeah. Well, we will keep you all afloat on everything that we get. If we get commitment news that is verified, we will jump online and we will talk about it. We will let you guys know, and we will be ready to go as soon as that happens. We've been ready to go. I feel like I can't go to dinner. I can't do anything because I got to be ready to jump online because it's that big.
My phone's with me every step. If I just walk out, look in the greenhouse, I've got my phone with me saying, "Kyle says, let's go." It's happening.
Well, and I have my sources, that are just waiting to give me verification on things. So every time my phone dings, I'm just like you. So if you guys enjoy our show, if you enjoyed tonight's show, make sure you like, subscribe, and share the broadcast so you can find it in the future and so other people can. Make sure you click that notification bell too, because every time we say we're getting ready to go live, it will let you guys know as well.
And share on your social media pages.
Yeah, absolutely.
Apex News, Apex Media.
And check out our TikTok. It has a bunch of our clips on there as well. You can find us on there. And we greatly appreciate you guys joining us tonight. We brought you a bunch of stories, not all of them great, but we covered a lot of ground tonight. Every story, every quote, every source. You can find every single one of our sources in the description of the YouTube. We do that every week, just the facts and the conversation around them. No spin here. And that's the way that we do it every single night at 5:00. For Craig Blanton, I am Kyle Thompson. And until next time, make sure that you stay informed, stay sharp, stay above the noise. Good night, everybody. See you soon.